We're going to continue on with our media availability this morning with Matt Kenseth, driver of the number $20 General Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Winner of this race last year and what was an exciting finish. And you had to be, wondering what was going to happen at the end of that race. But aside from coming up here and winning races, I mean, what do you do when you're up here? There's a lot of things to do here in the outdoors and the Poconos. And I know you like to bike ride, hunt. There's anything special you like to do around here? Huh?
Yeah, let's go hunting right after practice.
Yeah, there you go.
The finish of the race was great for us last year. It's been better for us here. The last year was pretty decent, and this year so far was pretty good. We ran pretty good in the spring. Used to be probably one of my worst tracks, I think, statistically, how we performed and really how we finished. So it's been better for us lately. So hopefully we can just continue from there and get a little better, and hopefully have a shot this weekend, be up front somewhere.
Outstanding. Let's open the floor up for questions. If you have a question for Matt, raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start here with Zach and then go over to Dominic.
Zach Tanzarelli, Front Stretch. With the win last year, at this point in your career, does a win at a track after so long, does it give you more confidence? Or at this point in your career, do you really just show up at a track and you know the feeling when you come into it already?
Well, everything changes a lot from year to year, the rules packages and what you learn on your cars and your setups and maybe how your organization or cars are running, that type of thing. But certainly whenever you run better somewhere, your confidence level is higher than when you go to a place and you don't run well. It's just kind of human nature. And that's always subject to change at any time. You might go to your best track that you feel the best at and feel like maybe you're one of your best places and run really bad, and you might go to the place you feel like is not a good track for you and run good. You never know what's going to happen, but certainly the success always breeds confidence.
Go next to Dom, then up front to Woody.
Dominic Udigo on the RacingExperts.com. When you look at your last 3 races here, 3 top 10s, including the win last year, how much do you and your team look at the numbers going into a race like this?
I don't typically really look at those kind of numbers. I mean, we're always looking through other numbers, stats, and how the race plays out typically, and averages for cautions and fuel mileage, those kind of numbers. But as far as what you did, before, as far as just qualifying and finish position, that kind of thing, I don't think we really sit and break that down, because that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really mean anything for what's going to happen necessarily this weekend.
Come up front to Woody.
Woody came with MRN. Matt, with the Olympics coming up, I was curious if you pay attention to any of that, or you have any particular sports in that you like, and what do you think about the possibility of one day adding racing?
I got to be honest, I don't pay much attention to it. I probably will, maybe a little bit more than maybe I have in the past, but I just really haven't watched it that much. Adding racing, that'd be fine.
Go right here to the middle here.
Zach Sterniola with the Pocono Record. Matt, I know that the Gibbs cars about midway through the race back in June were really competitive. You and Kyle were up front, but ended up you were finishing one of the bunch, coming home 7th, no one in the top 5. Do you feel, especially after the way you guys ran last week at Indy, do you feel more confident heading into this week?
I felt really confident last time. We didn't get a lot of practice, on Friday. We qualified really well. I think we qualified 2nd or 3rd. We had a really good car. We just really struggled on restarts and kept getting behind on restarts. So hopefully we have that fixed for this time. Worked hard on that. Try to keep our track position a little better. And then we just got off a little bit on a set of tires and adjustment, got behind. But I really felt like we had a car that could have competed for the win last time. So felt good about what we did there, and we're just trying to build on that and improve that a little bit for this time.
Go to Jerry, then up front to Lee, and then to Scott.
Jerry Jordan, Performance Racing Network, Kicking the Tires. We talked at Richmond about your season. At this point, a little past halfway, I asked Brad this earlier to rate him his. Can you rate your season at this point with the 2 wins and how you're looking forward to the chase?
Well, I mean, I don't know about just rating it as far as a grading scale or anything, but I mean, overall it's been good. I think we've ran pretty well on average. There's certainly been some weeks where we've missed it and not performed well, but there's been a lot of weeks where we have performed well, maybe not got the finishes, and then fortunately we've been able to get a couple wins along the way, which is always great. So I think it's been good. I think all our Toyotas at JGR have been really competitive and really fast and leading laps and winning races. So it's fun to be part of that.
front of Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Brad Keselowski was in here and he said that he thought that road course racing is the most dangerous racing that you all encounter throughout the course of the year. But is that also what makes it so exciting for the race fans?
The danger aspect, I hope not. You know, I don't know. There's been a lot of bad wrecks at Watkins Glen. I think it's hard to just group road courses together, even though we only do 2 of them. But Watkins Glen is really fast. I will say that they've done a lot of things to try to make that safer. You know, and we've seen some terrible wrecks there. I can't really comment on Brad's wreck because I have to be honest, I haven't seen it. You know, but that wreck a few years ago with, I think it was Ruderman, you know, hitting that wall off of turn 1, going in. I mean, that's a place you'd never think about wrecking, and that was just an awful wreck. And of course, off of I don't know what you want to call that, turn 5 or whatever. There's always been those wrecks, and they do react, and they try to make the track as safe as possible. But there's just a lot of weird angles there, and you're going really, really fast, you know, for a road course at that place. So. So yeah, I mean, if you had to rate them, it's certainly one of the, you know, the more dangerous tracks you go to, just because you're not contained like you are at an oval.
We'll go to Scott and then back to Kenny.
Scott Walsh from the Scranton Times Tribune. Matt, could you just talk a little bit about halfway through the season now with the use of the new digital dashboards? Can you just talk a little bit about how you feel they're performing, and was it in a big adjustment period from the gauges that you were used to over the years?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it probably, I guess maybe the teams can give a little bit more information than maybe they did before. I'm not sure, but for us, or for me anyway, it doesn't really change anything. I get pretty much all the same information I got before with round gauges, with the exception of lap times. Is the only thing I really get that we couldn't get before. So, I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's really changed much from the cockpit, but it's fine.
Finish up with Kenny.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Matt, NASCAR's announcement that they were going to go back with the
There we go.
with the rules package, with the same rules package at Michigan instead of running the 16 initial package, I guess.
Yeah.
Your take on that? Are you glad they're going back with that one more time? Or I think you had like a 14th place finish there back in June. Are you glad for the change, or would you like to see them stick with what they have?
Well, you know, whenever you ask drivers, I mean, we all, you know, want what's best for our particular situation. So last year I felt like we performed really good with all the aero packages. We were able to win with all of them as an organization. This year, Michigan, we ran really, really bad, or at least I did, with the 20. But Kentucky, we ran pretty good. You know, I think we were running second, and Brad made it on fuel, and we couldn't make it. And I thought we had a top 3 or 4 car with that same package. So, you know, I'm looking forward to going back to Michigan. And, you know, if I could pick one, I don't know. We've probably ran better overall with a 16 package, but we've only had 2 shots at that newer package. So, and like I said, Kentucky was much improved over Michigan. So, looking forward to running it again, especially if that's the direction they're going for next year, and seeing if we can improve on what we did last time, and you know, hopefully run farther toward the front.
Matt, really appreciate you taking the time
no
to join
problem.
us this
Thanks,
morning.
guys.
Good luck.